Well, good morning. Welcome back. Good to see you again. We're going to be doing a big leg day today on the squat max. Been loving using this thing, so I think it's going to be a good utilization of this today. Wrong! Well, good morning. Welcome back. It's good to see you again. It's good to be back in here. I was training 2 days ago, leg day, and as I was warming up on my squat max, I just had this crazy dull pain in my left knee. Not entirely sure what it was. I had felt something there the day before when I did the Stairmaster for some cardio, but it was just a little bit achy. Nothing crazy, just felt a little achy, like almost like you'd hit it on something, banged it on something. And it went away really quickly, didn't have any lasting results, didn't impact cardio, nothing like that. However, when I came back the next morning to do leg day and start filming that, just warming up even with 90 pounds on the squat max was giving me some grief. Was really not feeling good. I was able to do dumbbell stiff leg deadlifts without any issue at all, but when I was doing those squats in particular, that's when it was not feeling great. The pain quickly subsided. Whatever's going on in there is almost certainly something that can still be recovered with a little bit of time and a little bit of rest. And for weeks now, I've been telling myself that I need to program in a deload week. It's a deload week, folks. It is a deload week. We need this. We've been needing this. It has been way too long since we've last done a deload week. We're going to be reducing the overall volumes we're doing, and as you can see from today's workout, we're almost reducing across the board all the sets to just 2 per exercise. Weights are mostly going to stay the same. I'm going to reduce 1 or 2 of them just for that first set, but the second set we're going to get right back up to that working volume that we normally do. And then for rest periods, you got to just kind of feel it out. You can keep those rest periods the same and keep them between the normal numbers that they're going to be depending upon what exercise and how many reps you're doing for those. But you may find yourself able to actually do these a little bit quicker with even less rest. Maybe across the board, you're only doing 1 to 2 minutes of rest. Don't push it too hard. Don't try to rush through the workout. Again, we do want to be taking this a little bit leisurely and not rushing things and perhaps getting in too much work by not resting adequately between these sets. But as I said earlier, these deload weeks are generally going to be about half as long as a normal workout is, maybe a little bit longer than that. Let's start the workout. Let's be efficient. Let's get in here, get some active recovery in, and allow our body the time it needs to heal not only our muscles, but also our mind, so that we can come back in a week or so, hit the ground running, even faster. See you over there. Deload weeks are critically important to the overall success of any lifting program, whether you're training for bodybuilding, whether you're training for powerlifting, strongman, CrossFit, whatever it is. You've got to have those weeks where your body gets the opportunity to just rest and recover while doing active recovery. We're not saying you're not going to lift at all, you're not going to do any exercise, any cardio, none of that stuff. In fact, we're still going to do all of those things. We're going to do them, though, at a reduced overall volume. Now, how often you do a deload week and what that overall volume looks like is really dependent on you and your personal needs. You'll find lots of research, articles, opinions out there that'll give you different numbers and different formulas for these. Generally, you're going to be wanting to do a deload week every 6 to 12 weeks. That's what I have found to be the best for my body and my training. Now, 12 weeks is certainly pushing it. I would usually err on the side of 6 to 8 weeks. Right about that 8-week mark, I'm going to program in a deload week, take a full 7 days off from the heavy lifting, from the progression that we're trying to make with our day-to-day, week-to-week lifts, and do a reduced overall volume for that week. Now, as I've said before, in most of my deload weeks, I'm not reducing the weight of the lifts I'm doing, but I am going to greatly reduce the amount of sets that I'm doing, the overall volume that I'm doing in that week. I like to keep the weight high, I like to keep the intensity high, but reduce just the overall volume that we're achieving over the course of that workout. That's going to give us the stimulus we need while still allowing our body to actively recover by lifting that weight, doing some sets, but not going so far that the fatigue starts to set in after that third, maybe fourth set, if we're doing 3 or 4 sets sometimes. Instead, I might only do 2 or 3 sets if I normally do 4. I might only even do 1 sometimes, depending upon how many of the set for that exercise I'm doing. You're just going to have to play around with it and see what works best for you. There's no specific formula to get it to work other than what I know to be true, which is that we've just got to reduce the overall volume. And you can do that by reducing weight and maybe keeping the sets and reps exactly the same, or just reducing the amount of sets you do, which I would always be in favor for. I like keeping that stimulus there. It still makes it feel like we're getting in a very good workout and not just coming out here and wasting our time, which is a very common feeling that a lot of lifters have during their deload weeks, especially because those workouts are going to probably take half the time that they normally do. Now, in a deload week, we're still going to keep our cardio up. We're still going to be doing at least 20 to 30 minutes every single day. Should be doing 30. Steady state cardio in that second zone, third zone, maybe thrown in some interval training in there too, depending upon your training goals. Absolutely want to keep that cardio in there, but we don't want to be killing it. Just like with our lifting, we don't want to be going too crazy hard, doing nuts interval training, crazy distance runs, swims, any of that stuff. We want to be allowing our body to fully recover. And it's not just our muscles and our joints and our ligaments that need that rest. It's also our brain. Our mind needs that rest. Our central nervous system, too, needs that rest. And that's perhaps the greatest area of rest that we can achieve. It's often overlooked, but our central nervous system takes a hit every single time we're out here lifting. And so when we come in here to do those deload weeks for 1, maybe 2 weeks, if your body really needs it, we are truly allowing our central nervous system as well to fully rest and recover and allow us to start that next workout cycle with as much efficiency and as much effectiveness as possible, with as full of a gas tank. And that is what will happen over time. We will run low on fuel. If we're progressively overloading, or nearly every workout we're taking things to failure, we're not going to be able to do that for terribly long. Again, 6 to 8 weeks is normally that time window that I feel like I need that deload week. Sometimes I can go a little bit longer though, but usually 6 to 8 weeks of pushing it that hard, you're going to be feeling it. This time, it's been 11 weeks. It's been 11 weeks, and that knee was probably the reminder I needed because I had been feeling it in the back of my mind. I had been telling myself, you need to do a deload week. You've got to program one in. You've got to make sure your body gets that rest. But I just kept pushing forward. I was, living with it. I was okay. I'm definitely tired, but I was living with the workouts we had planned and just keep the grind moving. However, as I said, that knee was a nice reminder, perhaps a little bit early before we really hurt ourselves. Okay, dude, take that rest, take that recovery, get in some recovery, and then come back and hit it even harder. And I promise you, after that deload week, you will come back and get so much harder than you were a week or two ago. It's going to feel fantastic, and the proof will truly be in the pudding.